Om 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 Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् नारायणम् पद्मभवम् वसिष्ठम् शक्तिम् च तत्पुत्रपराशरम् च व्यासम् शुकम् गौडपादम् महान्तम् गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमदास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमदास्य पद्मपादम् च हस्तामलकम् च शिष्यम् तोडकम् वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादम् शङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्यम् केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतम् करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयम् देवम् सद्गुरुम् ब्रह्मविद्वरम् सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरम् तमगोचरम् गोविन्दम् परमानन्दम् सद्गुरुम् प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम् 420 420 420. This section, Jivan Mukti Lakshanam, is pointed out from 419 onward. As Gurudev has given different sections here, in this, he has said the science of reality and its benefit. And the first verse we see in this is Samsiddhasya phalam tu etat jivan muktasya yoginah bahiranta sadananda rasa aswadanam atmani. Rasa aswadanam, total experience of the rasa ananda rasam. And bahihi antah, outside as well as inside. Sadanandaha aswadanam atmani. So that joy is the very sign of a man of liberated person's mind. A man of realization can never afford to be unhappy. Gurudev used to say, sorrow is foolishness. He said, life is a joke for those who think. Life is a tragedy for those who don't. Life is a comedy for the one who thinks. Comedy does not mean hey, 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 like that. Person is fully satisfied. Now it's a beautiful explanation is given in the verse number 420. Vairagyasya phalam bodhah.
Vairagyasya phalam bodhah.
Bodhasyo paradip phalam.
बोधस्योपरति फलम्
स्वानन्दानुभवत् शान्तिः
स्वानन्दानुभवः शान्तिः
केशैवोपरते फलम्
केशैवोपरते फलम्
वैराग्यस्य फलम् बोधः बोधस्योपरति फलम् स्वानन्दानुभवः शान्तिः येषो वै परते फलम्. Vairagyasya phalam bodha. It is interesting. We have seen earlier when we take up the sadhana chatushtaya, viveka, vairagya, samadhi shakka sampattihi, then mumukshutvam is said to be the qualification required for a student. There also, vairagya is given as a qualification for the study of scriptures. At that time, the vairagya is said to be a practice that the student must have dispassion in the for the sake of study. If the mind is running after things and I don't have time to read at all, study at all, that only shows too many things are occupying your mind. So here, that is why it says, Vairagya bodha uparadinam kramena phalam darshayati. Kramena, in on a particular succession order. Vairagyasya phalam bodha. So here it says, in the beginning stage, vimukti saudagra tala adirohanam tabhyam vina na anyatarena siddhyati iti katitam. Vimukti sodagra. Vimukti sodagra means the ladder leading to liberation. The ladder leading to liberation, the highest top, agratala, the final top portion, adirohanam, to climb up to that point, tabhyam vina, vairagya bodhabhyam vina. Without the vairagya and bodha together, it is not possible at all. Now, one should understand not bodha as viveka. Viveka is differentiation, discrimination. Whereas here, bodha is said to be the knowledge acquired through Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. So here, Vairagyana param sukasya janagam pashyami vashyatmanah tache shuddhataratma bodha sahitam swarajya samrajya duk. Earlier it is said by Shankaracharya, Vairagyat na param sukam. Sukasya janakam. Kasya sukam na karodi viragah. What joy this passion cannot give. See, an object when we are desiring, it can give joy, no doubt, but the greatest joy will be not wanting it. One cannot comprehend that in a common man, if you say Vishaya Sukam asti, Nirvishaya Sukam param. That cannot be understood by a common man, is it not? Joy from the object is there, but dispassion over the object is greater joy. Because I don't want it. That ability to say no is possible only when you know that it is cannot add any more joy to me. So here, vairagya na param sukasya janaka. Pashyami vashya atmanah. But the person who is fully self-controlled, So, tayoho samataya hedutvam iva pratiyate. So, at that point, what we say, Vairagya and Bodha are of the same scale, it is put. So, in the state of a student, Vairagya and Bodha goes parallel. Vairagya is there, then knowledge is also possible. The more Vairagya, then that amount of knowledge is also possible. So, it requires both of them to go parallelly. Dispassion and acquiring of knowledge. But here what is said? Vairagyasya phalam bodha. The result of Vairagya is knowledge. You should see the difference there. They are not at the equal footing. Equal footing is only when during the time of a person doing the spiritual practices as the Shravana Manana Nidhityasana Ityadi. But when a person has reached the highest point, then that Vairagyasya phalam bodha iti. That is what he said here. Vairagyasya bodhayoho hedumadbhavaha spashtam na pratiyate. In that condition, we cannot see the relationship between Vairagya, dispassion, and knowledge as cause and effect relationship. Hmm. The cause and effect relationship we don't see at that point. So now that is why here he wants to make it clear that vicharadashayam nididhyasanamantara viparita bhavanayaha anivrittehe bahya analambanam durgatam. Now coming to the next point, both are leading to uparati. Knowledge leading to total withdrawal. So how is that? Because during the time of vichara, during the time a person is studying and he is attempting to go into nididhyasana, at that point of time, bahya analambanam, vrittehe, not having external support and exclusively withdrawing the attention from the world of objects. One is dispassion. Dispassion means I don't want it. Second is the mind is not clinging on to objects externally. That uparadi, that withdrawal, bahya analambanam vritte eto esho uparadi uttama ityuktam. Why? Because when at the time of nididhyasana, what will be the trouble that an individual will have? Even if the knowledge is very clear, doubtless, the past vasanas will come and try to take the attention of the person away. At that point of time, what is the practice one should have? Analambanam. There is no more support. I should seek from the objects outside. The mind will go because of its habits. It will go back again and again and again and again. No, I don't need it. So dispassion on the one hand gives knowledge. Knowledge to sustain, one has to, the viparita bhavana has to be overcome. That is why it is said, viparita bhavanayaha anivrittehe bahya analamanam durgatam. It is difficult to reduce the dependence upon the objects outside. Gurudev used to say, when you sit for meditation, I think one cup of coffee will keep me awake for a longer time. Let me have a coffee and then sit for meditation. Achha. So just get up and then make coffee and then come and have a sip of it. I think I need a pillow behind. Because when I'm sitting, in case if I happen to become a little relaxed, so the pillow will make me straight. Okay. Pillow will be clear. But head, it also requires some rest. Then it'll be easier for me. Because back has to be straight. The body behind I have a rest, but then for neck it is not rested. Mahapariki. When you close your eyes with the pillow behind the head and pillow on body also behind the thereafter there is no question of getting up from that samadhi. Nidra samadhi sthiti. Then nidra is considered as samadhi there. So that is called bahya alambana. Taking support of the outside things. That usually comes as a previous habit, vasana, etc. So therefore here, idanim tu, so here that is why he is making this point very clear. Shabdadi vishaya analambanattvena vrittihi vicharam sadhayati iti vaktavyam. Shabdadi vishaya analambanattvena, without the support of the objects which are sound, etc. Vicharam sadhayati iti vaktavyam. Idanim tu panchakosha nisheda purassaram. But whereas here we are talking about the Jivan Mukta. The Jivan Mukti Lakshana is what? Shanti. Shanti came from what? Uparati. Uparati came from what? Bodha. Bodha came from Vairagya. So here Idanim tu means Panchakosha Nisheda Purasthara. After having discarded the identification with the Panchakoshas, Nididhyasanena Swanubhave Sampadite. In the Nididhyasana, having overcome all the five Panchakoshas and gaining this blissful self, Anatma Vishayagatvam Asankochena Vaktum Shakyate Ataha Bodhasya Uparadihi Phalam. So therefore, at that point of time, there is no more intent to get support from anything related to the Panchakoshas. Even a expectation of an emotional company or intellectual company, which is also the demand of the Manomaya Kosha or Vijnanamaya Kosha, that also is being discarded here. Atah Samadhi Shatka Madhye Samapala श्रमफलधमफलत्वेन कथितायाः अपि उपरतेः उत्तमत्वसिद्ध्यनन्तरमेव स्वलक्ष्ये नियतावस्था मनःश्रम उच्यते इत्यादि इति लक्षितशमः शान्तिपदेन स्वानन्द अनुभवात् शान्तिः एव उपरतेः फलम् इति उक्तम्. Even though earlier it is said Shama Dhamma results in Uparati, the maturity of Shama, quietness of the mind, Dhamma, withdrawal of the senses leading to total withdrawal. But here it is said the result of Uparati is Manashanti. Earlier Shama leads to Uparati, now you are saying Uparati leads to Shanti. That Shanti is not a practice, Shanti as a result. The result of Uparati is Shanti. That is what he said here. Swanandanubhavat Shantihi esha eva Uparatehe phalam. So this way he explains in little more detail also about the various relationship from Vichara Samaye, what is you considered as the Vairagya, etc. And then Swanubhava Samaye, at the time when one has already reached there. So that is why it is. So it is said Tasmad Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Samyak Mano Nirudhya Vichare Kriyamane Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Samyak Mano Nirudhya. By that is why Bhagavan Krishna had given very clearly this instruction to Arjuna when he said, my mind is so disturbed and chanchalam maneh Krishna and all that. Vairagya, he say, what did he say? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grhyate. अभ्यास करो. क्या अभ्यास करना है? शम दम अभ्यास करो. And then with vairagya. So that's why he says, abhyasa vairagyabhyam samyak manah nirutya, by which alone mind can be stopped. Stopped means mind can be withdrawn. Vichare kriyamane, upon the deliberation upon the truth, bodha avashyam bhavi, knowledge will definitely take place. Yadi na jatah, if knowledge does not take place, then vairagya rupa sadhanam na purnam asti. Swamiji, I have so much of dispassion, but knowledge doesn't take place. That means vairagya is apurna only. So I went to sleep, Swamiji, but then when I got up, I got very tired. That means you didn't sleep. If you have really slept well, at the end of it, you cannot say, I'm still tired. If you are tired, that means you didn't sleep. As simple as that. Similarly, if you say, I gained the knowledge from the scriptures, but I'm not able to feel the fulfillment of knowledge, that only shows there is apurnam, na purnam asti iti jnatavyam. So, tatah tadhardyaya prayatnah karyah. So what is to be done? One is not satisfied. See, many people they say, Vedanta to theek hai Swamiji, mujhe bhi, I have to stand upside down. Then only I think I am doing something. हाँ, क्रिया योग करना पड़ेगा स्वामी जी. ये करने से मुक्ति नहीं मिलेगा भाई, शब्द मिलेगा. Mukti is not possible by pushing one air on the other side and pulling out another air the other side. इसमें मुक्ति नहीं मिलेगी. Of course, you will become mukta from jaladosha. Jaladosha means what? Cold cough. Then you may get mukti from that only. So why we say that, oh, Vedanta Jnana, so we pad liya. I've studied, but still something to be done. That means what? Vairagya apurna. Still you have something else as your expectation there. As I said another day, so one boy used to come to me every day morning and says, can you see the face bright, Swamiji? Can you see it? Not Swamiji at the time, when my Saha Brahmachari. See, is it bright? Because I did 2 hours of meditation. Is it very bright? So I say, don't stand in front of me. My eyes are not even able to see. So bright you are. Better go and put some makeup. No, it will become better, easy. Why 2 hours of meditation for that? Put some foundation and second for third foundation. Why do you need to do meditation for the sake of face becoming bright? So, one who says that jnanam is not happening, Swamiji, that means vairagya nahi hai. So, therefore, evam bodhi upanishad janye atma sakshatkare jate asamdikta viparyasta atma paroksha jnane va jate atma paroksha jnane jate uparadihi tasya bodhasya phalam. So bodhasya, the result of jnanam, jnanasya phalam uparatihi. What is it uparati? Jnatva vibhahyebhya nivritti abhave manasah dridam jnanam na jatam iti etat jnanam. Even as if you say, my mind is not able to withdraw easily, that means knowledge is incomplete. Why mind would not withdraw, spontaneously, with effortlessly? Because there is something which you think I can get out of the something outside. So therefore, uparati is if it's not experienced, easy withdrawal from object is not experienced, that shows that jnanam is apurnam. Tatra cha karanam vairagya aparipurtireva vairagyam purnam drida atma nishchayascha no chet vidyavatam vedah kova. If you say that, what is the difference between a man of knowledge and man of ignorance? The man of knowledge has completeness of the vairagya and total withdrawal is seen in him. Otherwise, what is the difference between a man of knowledge and man of no knowledge? If the man of knowledge also still having so much importance to the world and its praise and then the pleasures, etc., then what is the difference between a person of knowledge and other person? That's what he says. Ko va vedaha. So, vidyavadamapi kutaha anuparamanam. How can a person of knowledge cannot have easy withdrawal from the world? Uparatocha manasaha swananda anubhavat. Because when the mind is withdrawn and because of its ability to dwell in the inner self full of bliss, shantihi nishkriya atma anatmana avasthanam esha eva palam uparate. Shanti in the form of akriyatvam. That means what? Kartavyam kinchit nasti maya. There's nothing more to be done. That is called complete uparati. And when nothing more to be done means what? The shanti, the inner bliss that I seek is already gained. There is nothing can be gained by doing. Nothing can be gained out of not doing. That's why Bhagavan Krishna also said, no, I have nothing else to do in this world. Three world. I have nothing to do. Then Arjuna went, why? Then why are you standing there in the war? Array Moodha, only to teach you I am here. For no other reason I am here. Now, see, that is nothing to be mame nachasti me kartavyam trishulokeshu kinchana. Kartavyam nasti. I have nothing to do. Yet, I am here. So here it says, Jnanamritena triptasya kritakrityasya yoginah naivasya kinchit kartavyam. Kartavyam asyatet nasa tattvavit. A person, jnanamritena triptasya, one who has complete satisfaction with the nectar of knowledge, kritakrityasya, one who is self-fulfilled, yoginah, of that yogi, na eva asti kinchit kartavyam. Kuch karna nahi hai. If it is there, that means he is not a tattvavit. Simple rule. A sadhu, miserable sadhu means very clear. Not a trace of sorrow should be there in that. If there is even a single trace of sorrow, that shows that he is incomplete in knowledge. So, yad uttara abhavaha purvapurvat nishpalam. When the previous condition is absent, the following thing will not be there. If there is no shanti, that means there is no uparati. If there is no total peace and contentment, there is an absence of total withdrawal. If there is no total withdrawal, that means there is absence of knowledge. If there is no completeness of knowledge, that means there is absence of vairagya, dispassion. So dispassion leading to knowledge, complete knowledge leads into complete withdrawal leads to total inner satisfaction. If inner satisfaction is not there, that's why it is said, yet uttara abhavaha purvam tu nishpalam. If the absence of the cause, there is absence of effect. The shanti is the final result. If that is absent, Ashantasya kutasukam. Bhagavan Krishna also asked this question. What is real happiness if one is not fully satisfied? Continuing here. So Brahma Vidyayaha Padam. It is said in the next verse. What do you see here? That is in this book. The what we said Yada Yadyat Uttara Bhava, that has been part of the verse itself has put, but in the Bhashya thing it is not that way. So we'll read this. Yadyat Uttara Bhavaha. Yadyat Uttarottara Bhavaha. Yat Uttarottara Bhavaha. Purva Purvam tu Nishpalam.
पूर्वं तु निष्फलम्
निवृत्ति परमा तृप्तिः
निवृत्तिपरमा तृप्तिः
आनन्दोऽनुपमः स्वतः
आनन्दोऽनुपमः स्वतः
यदुत्तरोत्तराभावः पूर्वपूर्वं तु निष्फलम् निवृत्ति परमा तृप्तिः आनन्दोऽनुपमः स्वतः अनुपमः स्वतः आनन्दः अनुपमः. Anupama means incomparable. Upama Ragita. What is that? Nivrittihi Parama Triptihi. Withdrawal is the total satisfaction. So if the previous one is absent to that extent, the result also will be absent. Yad Uttara Uttara Bhavaha Purva Purvantu Nishpalam. If the cause is incomplete, the effect will not be full. So here that is explained, but as we have seen already, evam tat drishtapala nishpatti paryantam tat sadhanam na purnam bhavati iti jnane prayatnah sadhakena sushtu kartum shakyate. So if one says that my knowledge is, I'm not satisfied with my knowledge, it shows that there is lack of dispassion. Swamiji, dispassion means it results in misery. Some people think like that. Vairagya leads to dryness, right? Withdrawing from everything and not interested in anything would lead to miserable existence. As Guruji Swami Tejomayanji had said once, that Mahatmas, sadhus are like dry fruits. They look dry, but when you start eating, it'll be sweet. Unlike the regular fruit, it'll ripe and then it'll destroy itself. But dry fruit, always dry. When you eat, it'll sweet. So the apparent dryness of dispassion does not mean there is lack of joy. The sweetness of dispassion is much higher than anything else. Holding on is what we think as joy. Letting go is greater joy. If every day you don't let go of the food that you have consumed, think about the misery that you will go through. Swamiji, why I don't know what I ate. 3 days, nothing happened. Then what happened? You feel so miserable, isn't it? At least I feel miserable. I don't know about you, but I feel miserable. It has to go. It has served the purpose. Let go. So everything has a purpose, and once its purpose is served, you cannot hold on to it. Done. That stage of life is over. If you go on holding on to the same thing, I told you, no, that's I have told this many times to me, but it is again and again comes to my mind. After 30 years, when I met my friends, they were still smoking and drinking. I did not do at that time also. And then when I met them after 30 years, they said they went on the same thing, the smoking and drinking. I said, you people have never changed. Still smoking and drinking. And they turned to me and said, you also didn't change. At that time also you didn't do, now also you are not doing. So both of us are in the same condition only. Earlier I was doing, you didn't do. Now also. So here one should recognize, one should be the best examiner of one's own condition, right? If my knowledge is not giving me easy withdrawal from the objects of the world, that shows knowledge is incomplete. What is that incomplete knowledge? I am not seeing the false nature of things. That is the knowledge, right? What is the Atma Jnana gives me? This what I, even though I'm seeing, it has no reality. Today morning also when I was covering on the subject, I said, you know, in Tamil there is a song, Kannai Nambade, you know. It's in a particular movie, particular situation that statement had relevance to that particular movie situation. But what he says is in that the lyricist, it's a later on he became a very advanced soul, but when he was writing at that time, whatever that came to his mind, he wrote. But it is very philosophical statement. Never believe your eyes. What it shows is not there. Hmm. That's what do you show? What you see is not there. It's badhita. It is false. So if you think that it is true, that means knowledge is incomplete. Meaning what? You have not understood the false nature of things. So here, that is why it is clear. Nivrittihi parama triptihi. The withdrawal is the total contentment. Ananda anandaha anupamaha swataha. And that the joy that is derived out of that withdrawal is enjoying. See, we think that engagement is the joy. No, disengagement is joy. And I don't need to tell you more about that because in another 3 hours you will do it. No need to tell you also, no need to instruct you, no need to, you know, advise you also. Naturally you will draw. So is it not that with nivrittihi that we do every day leads to anupama triptihi? Anupama. It's incomparable joy. And nobody wants to spare. I mean, can you substitute that state of sleep, joy of the state of sleep, with anything else in this world? Think. Even if I give you $1 million, don't sleep. How long you do that? One Shivaratri day you cannot do it. $1 million, you 10 days don't sleep. Try. Try. You say, keep your 1 million with you. I want to sleep. There is no way you can avoid this. And is there anything that can be substituting that? Can anything substitute that sleep? So, in the same way, nivrittihi mahatriptihi. That withdrawal leads to the highest bliss. And then this nivritti, when it is done consciously, this withdrawal is done consciously, knowing that what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing is false. Even in the presence of that, you will have no intention. Nivrittihi sarvebhyah karyebhyah nivrittihi nirvyavaratam kartavya anavasheshata. What is nivrittihi? Kartavya anavasheshata. There is nothing more to be done. That is called nivritti. Nivritti is not just a withdrawal. Nivritti is knowing that nothing more to be done by me. Paramatriptihi, Nirangushatriptihi, Kartavyam Kridam. Whatever needs to be done, done. Praptavyam Praptam. Whatever is to be obtained, gone, finished. Ida Param Karaniyam Praptam Va Kim Abhi Nasti. Iti. जो करना है कर चुका हूं जो पाना है जो पा चुका हूँ रे, पाना है रे, पाना है पा चुका हूँ, करना है पाना है कुछ भी नहीं है, ऐसा ये तृप्ति है, निरंकुश तृप्ति, अनब्रिडल्ड। नास्ति स्वस्य धन्य धन्यतया सुख विशेष, धन्य धन्यतया, धन्योहम, I am so blessed, there is nothing to be done. Swami, you can say that. हम लोग गृहस्थ लोग ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, इतना करना है। हाँ, so many things to do, Swamiji, you don't know. Even if I don't want to do, my spouse will not allow me then. One wife asked the husband, what are you doing? Nothing. That you have been doing the whole week, but now what are you doing? So here, Dhanya Dhanyadaya Sukha Vishesha Swadaha Anupamaha Asadrushaha Ananda Vishaya Nirapekshaha Nitya Niradishaya Sukham. Nitya Niradishaya Sukham. Incomparable, unique joy. Prarabdha Karpana Dushtadukkeshu Anudvekaha. Then in the next verse, next line is also taken up. We'll read that part. The Gurudev writes it very clearly here. A quiet mind produces more brilliant intellect. With this brilliance, the student discovers a greater depth of understanding of scriptures. Therefore, the knowledge of the true nature of self becomes fuller and more productive of results. Thus, Vairagya gives Bodha, a clear and full understanding of the nature of the self. When this knowledge enters the level of our understanding, then gratification in the old fields of sense indulgences automatically stops. This self-withdrawal is called Uparadi, which leads to the complete peace that passeth all understanding. And here he says, if you are practicing self-withdrawal, but if it does not lead to subjective knowledge of the higher, the self-knowledge is only escapism. So don't escape from the world. If you are trying to escape from the world in the beginning stages, one may have to do it for the sake of studying. But after gaining the knowledge, there is no more escapism. That's why he says escapists from life cannot claim an entrance into the religion. Religion in the highest realm is reserved only for the evolved persons who have cultivated through sustained self-effort the necessary perfection. Evolution is not an accident. It is a logical development, and as its stages, every evolute will have to go through all the preceding stages before he can climb to the final stage of evolution. Evolution is not an accident. So even science would say, a amoeba becoming a multicellular organ is an evolution that takes place over thousands and thousands of years. Isn't it? And the evolution takes place because of the increasing demands of that particular organ. And then multicellular, and then slowly it is becoming more and more advanced and complex. In the same way, here the maturity from one level of evolution to the next level of evolution suddenly would not happen. One cannot say, yesterday I went to sleep and today I got realized. Sir, you stay where you are. Don't come anywhere near me. There's no accident here. Suddenly nobody will get realized. That means we wait one more day. It will go. It's only an imagination in your mind. Thus, only an individual who has gone through all the disciplines indicated in the previous verse will really come to live a life of complete detachment from the world outside. So when will it come? When will it come? Shankara answers, this state of complete bliss and satisfaction comes naturally as a result of all the previous disciplines. Nobody can hurry in this process. But at the same time, you have to keep walking. That's why he wrote a book called Hasten Slowly. You have to keep moving. And no, don't think that you can hurry up the process. It will happen as you become mature, it will happen. So, this is the final reward of the spiritual seeker. दृष्टदुःखेषनुद्वेगः
दृष्टदुःखेष्वनुद्वेगः
विद्याया प्रस्तुतं फलम्
विद्याया प्रस्तुतं फलम्
यत्कृतं भ्रान्तिवेलायाम्
यत्कृतं भ्रान्तिवेलायाम्
नानाकर्मजुगुप्सितम्
नानाकर्मजुगुप्सितम्
पश्चान्नरो विवेकेन
पश्चान्नरो विवेकेन
तत्कथं कर्तुमर्हति
तत्कथं कर्तुमर्हति
दृष्टदुःखेषनुद्वेगः विद्याया प्रस्तुतं फलम् यत्कृतं भ्रान्तिवेलायां नानाकर्मजुगुप्सितम् पश्चान्नरो विवेकेन तत्कथं कर्तुमर्हति दृष्टदुःखेषु अनुद्वेगः. So drishtadukeshu anudvegaha, meaning there is no dukkam tu ragadi nimitta vashad rajoguna vikara rupa santapa atmika chitta vritti. What is dukkam? Caused by the existing desire or attachment or feeling of or projection of joy on objects, raga, rajoguna vikara rupa, the nature of rajoguna. Santapatmika, finally resulting in sorrow. Chitta vrittihi. Iti dukkeshu dukka udyoga, dukkat dukka udvegayoho vedaha. Dukkha and udvega. So, udvega is the caused by Udvega is what? Anudvegaha Sukadiksh Ajnani tu Dukkeshu Prasakteshu Aham Papiling Mading Mam Duratmanam Manam Iti Anutapavan Bhavati Yatyapi Ayam Vivekaha Iva Bhati Tatapi Purvasmin Janmani Chet Papa Pravritti Pratibandhakatvat Prasaprayojano Bhavati Sma Idanint Nishprayojana Idi Pranti Tamo Vikaraha. Udvega is considered as Ajnani to a person who is ignorant. Dukkeshu Prasakteshu, when experiences sorrow, Aham Papi iti manyate. So, when a person who is not a man of knowledge, when he encounters sorrows in life, what is the conclusion immediately that person will come to say? ये क्या कर्म किया मैंने इसलिए मेरा ऐसा दुख I am experiencing dukkam because of papa karma. He blames the karma of the past, never takes responsibility of it. So Prasaktesh aham paviling ding mam duratmanam iti anutapavan bhavati. I am such a suffering soul. Nobody is even crying with me. Yatyapi I am viveka iva. He thinks that this is called correct understanding. But past karma making me miserable right now. तथापि पूर्वस्मिन् जन्मनि चेत् पापप्रवृत्तिप्रतिबन्धकत्वात् सप्रयोजनः भवति स्म इदानीं तु निष्प्रयोजन इति भ्रान्तिः तमो विकारः See, it is nothing but tama vikhara. It's ajnanam only. Nobody can make you miserable unless you allow that to happen. Either it is the physical affliction or any other affliction that comes, a man of knowledge cannot but see that as merely a mental vikara, mano vikara eva. But it is hard to understand a man of such knowledge who cannot afford to be unhappy, even in spite of so-called, purva kruta karma, whatever it be. He is able to rise above that upon knowing everything as false, and that will not happen in the case of Ajnani. So that dukkham, on the other hand, is rajogana vikara. Udvega is a cause of tamas. Absence of knowledge is causing the udvega, anguish, uh, worldly sorrows. Nonchalance towards worldly sorrows, dukkeshu, drishta dukkeshu, anudvega. So here that the difference is very clearly given. Jnaninaha ayam udvegaha na bhavati iti chatvari phalani. Why that jnani cannot have any kind of such udvega, anudvega? Why? Because he has four different results coming out of his knowledge. First, nivritti, withdrawal, renunciation. Nirangusha triptihi, total satisfaction with no impediments. Asadrisha ananda, incomparable bliss. Nirvishaya, meaning Vishaya analambanam, no more support of the external objects. Drishta dukkeshu anudvegascha iti. This is what is considered as the state of no more any kind of udvega in his mind. Dukkeshu, even as the sorrows arise, drishta dukkeshu, even as the sorrows are seen, sorrowful situation are seen in his life, as Bhagavan Buddha has very clearly says, sorrows are unavoidable, suffering is optional. That suffering is called anudveka. Sorrows is called dukkha. So drishta dukkeshu, even as the so-called sorrows are there in his life, which others will see, maybe physically he is unwell. As we've seen in Gurudev's condition, hardly functioning, 25%. He would not ever show it. Not even a trace of it you will find in his face. He will roar like a lion there on the and then everybody says, wow, and then he go behind you. Okay, put the oxygen. In fact, one I saw one picture where I think one of our members only, doctor she is, and she has to put the injection on his body or whatever it is, maybe the insulin. And because she took the syringe and went to him and said, so her hand was shaking. Out of whatever reason, respect or her hand was shaking. Stop. You are putting injection on me or I am putting injection on you. Why is your hand shaking? If at all anybody has to be feeling pain, I am have to be pain, not you. Put it. So we think that our experience is what his experience is. Our pain, we know when we feel that the injection is a bit, we say, that's what he will also feel. He will smile at me, just put it. No, what are you looking at? Put. As though he's totally detached from what is going on there. Come on, do it. So that Adrisha Ananda, Asadrisha Ananda, Nirvishaya. So that is why it is said Vidyayaha Prastutam Phalam, evidential result. What? Sorrows are there, suffering is not there. This is the most evident result of knowledge. Atma Tattva Jnanasya Prastutam Mukyam Drishtam Phalam. Evidently seen in the case of a man of knowledge. Paschan Yatkritam Branti Velayam Nana Karma Jugupsidam. It is an example that is given. A person who has, during the time when he has taken the alcohol inside, and whatever he has done, even a man of great knowledge, when he has taken or when he is intoxicated, he will be next to the drainage lying down. Does he know? Jugupsidam karma. What called abhorrent action. Will he do when he is awake and when he released himself from that state of intoxication? As Gurudev writes, when the effects of a drink have worn off and the mind has emerged from the delusory fumes, then in the same moments, how can the drunk of the night before repeat his mischiefs in the clear light of morning after? Pranti velayam jugupsitam nana karma yatkritam tat karma vivekena paschat katam kartum arhati iti anena vivekena yada jugupsita karmabhyah nivrittihi evam vidyavatah prapya abhavat brahmanishtataya cha sarva karma nivrittiriti bhavah. Meaning, earlier actions that were done prompted by the vasanas, upon realizing the highest truth, it is jugupsaya. You will not go back to that condition again. Like, foolishness is this? What is that I have done in the case when I was ignorant? I cannot go back and do it again. So therefore, there is no more repeating of the same mistakes by that person. So continuing here, Vidya. Okay, time is up then. Let's see more of it in the next class. So these are all beautiful, hard hitting verses saying that where we lack, what we lack, and we should not blame the world for our uh, what do you call it? Tortoise like progress, turtle progress. The turtle like progress is because of our own incompleteness. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om